So what's up, guys? So today, unexpectedly, I found a fuel leak on my car. Didn't expect it to be leaking for any reason, but anyway, by doing a little bit of research underneath my vehicle, I did find that, I don't know if y'all can see that, that's where it's dripping from. And so to be able to access that, I had to take the heat shield down. There's actually 3 bolts. There's one that locks onto that tab right there, one that goes over there on that side of the heat shield, and then one right, come on, there, kind of at the tip of my finger there, yeah, but you can kind of see how rusty that is. So I'm going to show you what I do to prevent from snapping off or shearing off the heads of hardware real fast. I think I may have showed you this tool before, but we're going to show it to you again and show you how it works. This is the Hot Rod flameless heat system, and the way this works is it has a coil at the end of it. It's corded, and then you put this around the head of the bolt, and then you hit the nifty little red button. You don't have to do it for very long. It heats up, and then it kind of breaks down all the rust and all of that, same as it would as if you were using a flame heat. So let me get you guys set up real fast, and then we'll get this set up, and then I'll show you how this works. So I'm going to bring this back. I'm actually going to stick this underneath the car like that. Set you guys here for a second. Plug this into my drop cord. Now we'll go back here. Set my little mat up so I don't have to lay on the hard concrete. Okay. So now it's going to get a little bit loud because it does have an internal fan on it. So what I'm going to do, try to get you guys somewhat set up where you can still see the bolt. Kind of spread you out a little bit. Okay, now you can see the bolt. So all I'm gonna do is take this, if I can get it to it, and we'll put it right on the head of that bolt, just like that. Start heating it up, and you'll start to see smoke roll off. Give that about that much. Doesn't take a lot. And then a 10mm is what that bolt is. Probably under here a little bit more. And now just hopefully break it right loose like that. Nice and easy. No stripping, no fighting. Now there's our bolt. And you can kind of see how rusty that was. So using heat definitely helped us from having to fight or shear that off. So now let me go turn this off. that little tool has saved me so much trouble. I originally bought it for the Nissan. When I first purchased it, I had to do an exhaust manifold on it, and like we were trying to take the heat shield off, and just taking the heat shield off, I was snapping the head of bolts off. And so then I used that, and every bolt that I used it on, it was perfect. Try to get you guys positioned up under here a little better. Let's see, it's the best way to get you out. I guess by force, maybe? I don't really know. I've never had to take the heat shield off of this before, so I don't want to drop the exhaust if I don't have to. Okay, well, I can just bend it down like this to get it out of my way. So I'm gonna take this rag. Let's see. I'm gonna put you guys probably, I need to get you way lower, actually. Way lower, so you can see what's kind of going on. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now, fold that out of the way, and I can wipe all of this off. And I can kind of tell where it's leaking at. I want to get some of that coating off of there, because it's eating it off anyhow, so let me get a light. Alright, I'm gonna grab a flashlight and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna try to show you guys. I found the leak. Here we go. And I'm gonna shine a light on it so you can kind of see. Well, that doesn't help that much at all. You see where it's kind of creased at right there, where it's like raw metal? It has actually pinched itself together, which created a crack in it about a 1/4 inch long. So the way I would normally fix it if it was a hole, I'll show you, and this is more of a get you by until you can, you know, get a new fuel tank or whatever, is I would take something like this right here. It's a self tapper, has a metal washer with like a little rubber washer on it, and I would take a screwdriver or a ratchet, and I would use some type of hand tool and slowly put that up in there until I got it tight. And then what I would go on top of that is this ethanol resistance tank refuel tank repair. It's a 2-part epoxy. You don't have to use the whole thing. You can cut it, you roll it together till it makes one solid color, and then put it up on there, smooth it out, however you got to do it. There's a whole thing on the back of it. But since it's a crack and I have a little over half a tank of gas in my car, I don't know how well. I've got this side jacked up pretty good to the max of what this little jack will do, which is all I currently have, to see if I could get it to stop flowing. But I'm pretty sure with as much fuel that's in that car, it's not going to. It says right here though, driest brown, sticks to gas tanks or gasoline, wet metal, used on gas tanks and gas cans. So I'm just gonna tear me off a chunk of it and knead it up, and I would assume You know, most people would use like a rubbing alcohol or something like that to kind of clean the surface, but I mean, it's gasoline pouring out of it, so, or it was. And I've done got all the rubber coating off of that particular area that the gasoline ate off from it. So I say we just don't use all of it. We stick some of it to it and see how that works out for us. So I'm gonna get you guys kind of set up here. There we go. I'm just gonna open this guy up, see what we got here. It's in a nice roll. I'm just gonna take my knife, and I'm not gonna use all of it. I'm just gonna use about that much of it and just. Okay, so basically what I had to do is I had to siphon all the fuel out of this car, or almost all of it, to get it to a point to where it would not leak anymore out of the crack. So now I'm going to put some gloves on, because the epoxy stuff, the fuel tank repair epoxy, it's a 2-part. It's quite sticky. Don't recommend getting it on your hands. If you do, just make sure you wash your hands really well. So now the car's fuel tank is no longer leaking fuel. These gloves take forever to get on. So what I'm gonna do is I'll show you. Let me get it over here. This is the outside, and then if you see the middle, it's try to block out some light. It's got a gray core in the middle of it. So all we gotta do is just take this plastic wrap off of it and just take it and knead it. You want to blend it really well. It is quite tacky. Let me see if I can get under here and show you guys that crack. Let me get you set up really good. So put that down like that. And then let me shine this light on it a little better. It might help, I don't know. So right there, where that surface is, let's see, get you about right there, get my arm past you, right in there it pinched, and it's created like a crack across it. It's probably about a 1/4 inch crack. So I'm basically just gonna knead this stuff up the best I can, and I've already dried it. This stuff will not stick to it if it is not completely dried. I'll just tell you that now. It has to be 100% dry, so unfortunately if you have gas in your car, you're gonna have to get creative and find a way to get either all or most of your fuel out. So what I did was I jacked it up on the opposite side, because it was close, the crack is closer to this side of the gas tank, so I cracked it up, I jacked it up on this side to put all the weight to the left side of the car, and then basically I had to siphon a bunch of fuel out of it to get it to where it wouldn't leak anymore. So now we're just gonna, you can see how it's starting to blend. And this takes a little bit of time. And just to show you again, this is the Permatex fuel tank repair kit. It's not really a kit, but and the idea is to mix this up as best you can, and then once you get it nice and mixed, you're basically just going to smush it up onto the crack as best you can, and then you're going to want to let it set. It says for at least an hour, so I'll probably leave it up on the jack stand and all that for an hour or so. It's already been on it for a good minute anyway, because it took quite a bit of time to get that fuel out of there. So you can still kind of, I don't know if it'll pick up on camera, you can kind of see where it's still kind of swirled in there. It's like a darker color. Once I get it to where I'm happy, then I'll just smush it up on there. So now I think I got this where I want it, so I'm going to set you guys up over here like that, and then I think I'm gonna do this in pieces. You can probably do it however you want, but I want to be able to smear it comfortably across that crack. And you can kind of see how it's now sticking nice, and you don't want to make it too thin, but then again I guess you don't want to make it too thick either. But I'm just going to keep putting it across that hole, or across that whole entire area, until I feel comfortable with it, until I feel confident that I've got it repaired how I want it. And it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be up under there. I would put it a little thick, I wouldn't put it too thin, especially over the surface area. And this is only about half of the stick. I'm sure you could probably tear this into chunks like I'm doing and use it and let it kind of do its thing, and then if you want it to, you could take the other half and probably, you know, same thing again over top of what you just put on there. But I'm gonna use this whole little half of it because the other half unfortunately dried out on me. So, and this stuff's only I picked this up at Menards and it was only $5 and like 43 cents or something, so like $5 to $7. I know you can get it at all auto parts store. They probably somewhere between $8 to $10 at a parts house. At an auto parts store, hardware stores, I think you could get the stuff at Walmart. I'm just pressing back over it to make sure that it's nice and over that hole real thick, or over the whole crack really thick, because that's really what I care about the most. Obviously I don't want it to leak any. So then, see if I can get you guys up in there a little better. Now you can kind of see how I smeared it across there. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to seal the leak. That's all I care about. I don't care about prettiness or how it looks. You're never gonna see it anyway. The only people that know it's there is me and you guys, and that's okay, because eventually I will probably replace this tank. So now peel these off now. And now we'll just let that set for about an hour or so, and then come back to it, see how it looks. If it looks good and it seems like it's solid and tacked up, then I'll proceed to put the heat shield back on it and try to put fuel back in it and go from there. So I will get back with you once this is dry. Alright, so we're back. It's been about an hour and a half, 2 hours. It seems to be pretty solid, but just to be on the safe side, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put the heat shield back on, and then I think I'm just going to let it set pretty much overnight, and then maybe try to drop it down off the jack tomorrow and put fuel in it. So I don't think it's gonna leak anymore. I think it's pretty much good enough to hold out until I do get, you know, if I do decide to get a new fuel tank or whatever. So for now, I think what we're gonna do is, so there's a bolt that goes there. There's the one I showed you earlier at the back, and then that strap right here at my finger also bolts up another side. Those are just quick little 10mm deals. Those are also the ones that I used to use the heat induction for earlier, the heat inductor. Instead of using like a torch or something, I used that instead. It works a lot better. Those are really good, like especially with stuff like this that you need to heat up so that you don't like snap the heads off from. You can actually get that thing off of Amazon. There's multiple versions of it, different prices. I think I paid around $180 for that one, but it was definitely worth it, because when I originally bought that one, it was for I put a new exhaust manifold on the Nissan, and I'm glad I got it, because I tried to take the heat shield bolts out just to see what would happen, and they instantly snapped. So then I used that one on the remaining ones, and they come right out no problem. But like I said, I think we're just going to leave this alone, let it do its thing. We'll leave it up on the jack, and all I'm going to do is just put the bolts into it, tighten them up, call it done. And then the rest of it is just up to Tom. That's one. So now I'm gonna go to the other side, put that one in, if I can. one last one. And that's it. Like I said, we're pretty much just gonna leave it on the jack stand overnight like this, and then I'll probably come back tomorrow, take it off the jack, and then probably put fuel in it and see how that works out. Check it out, make sure it doesn't do any leaks or anything like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. So I hope you guys maybe learned something from it. As always, I try to bring out a video when I can, not always necessarily when it just comes to me, but I guess it is good when it comes to me. I know we were originally going to be doing belts on this car, but this unfortunate circumstance happened and it took pretty much all day to take care of. But yeah, so I will see you guys in the next one. Remember, as always, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.